Yusato wakes up from his deep slumber, contemplating if all of this is just a dream. In the meantime, one of his comrades informs him about some people who are here to visit them. They are glad to see that Yusato is faring well since they heard he got abducted by some crazy woman. Yusato apologizes for worrying them as he suddenly remembers that he's supposed to undergo hellish training starting today. Seeing his dismayed expressions, Inukami comments that he seems prepared to face what's coming his way. Yusato expresses that despite everything, he wants to do something productive. Hearing this, Inukami wishes him luck, and Kazuki also expresses his gratitude for making him realize something important. He further tells him that he'll do his best in this life as well. With this, both of them leave for the castle. I wish I had such friends in my life as well. Yusato, my man, is lucky. Yusato is also glad that Kazuki and Inukami are faring well. In the meantime, Rose appears at the spot as she reminds Yusato that this is not a prison and that he's free to meet his friends. She then hands over a journal to him, asserting that he records his training regimen in it. After this, Yusato's hellish training officially begins. On the first day, Rose teaches him to feel and concentrate his mana, asserting that he'll learn to control it as well. Yusato comments on how easy this hellish training actually is. I'm pretty sure Yusato will regret saying this, lol. Following this, Rose hands him a massive book that contains information about this realm, and Yusato wonders if he can read its language. Rose tells him that he can, but Yusato is still unsure and is shocked to realize that he can comprehend everything. Rose then teaches him on the geography of the Linger Kingdom and the dangers it poses. I wonder who named Rose. I mean, her parents were way off naming her before a flower. She's more like a demon. Yusato is then entrusted with reading the whole book. Yusato is still shocked at how simple this training is. On day 2, Yusato trains simply by running. He had to keep sprinting till his legs ripped off. He can't see how this jogging will assist him with his magic training, but he keeps running nonetheless. Even when he falls down, he gets punished by Rose, who is observing his every move. I told ya that Yusato will regret saying that this training is easy. Yusato protests that he cannot run anymore, but Rose heals his legs immediately and instructs him to keep running. The training continues, and on the 4th day, Yusato gets the opportunity to run with his comrades. They keep ridiculing him for being too slow, and even though Yusato wants to talk back, he keeps his calm. On the 6th day, Yusato somehow manages to physically manifest his magic, but the harsh training still continues. Rose asserts that the more Yusato hates her, the harder it will get for him. This makes Yusato wonder if she has been reading his journal, but realizes that she can't possibly understand Japanese. The hellish training continues with Yusato getting his ass beaten for no reason until he manages to heal himself with his own magic. Even though he is making insane progress, Yusato still wonders if he'll be of any help for Inukami and Kazuki by just running around. On the 11th day, Rose adds something new to his training regimen, and that's push-ups. At this point, Yusato's training regime consists of running in the morning and then push-ups in the evening. As Yusato is performing push-ups, Rose tells her the importance of honing his body. She tells him that he needs a strong body to save his comrades on the battlefield. Whatever you say about Rose, she's a true leader. Things are getting slightly easier for Yusato, and Rose realizes this as she instructs him to tie some weights to his body. On day 14th, as Yusato gets back from training, he notices that his lunch is missing, and it turns out one of his comrades has eaten it. This leads to an all-out brawl between them. At that point, Yusato realizes that he's been getting brainwashed all this time by Rose and his comrades. A week later, Inukami and Kazuki visit Yusato alongside some other people from the castle. Yusato's comrade leads him to the forest where Rose is training him. Seeing his intense training session, Inukami and Kazuki get shocked. Yusato is actually performing push-ups with Rose and a massive block placed on him. Bro is slowly becoming him. Rose keeps provoking him, but Yusato is not the type of guy to give up, and even talks back to Rose. Seeing this, she places another massive block on him, but instead of giving up, Yusato persists and actually manages to do a push-up. Inukami and Kazuki, on the other hand, cannot comprehend that they're seeing Yusato. Seeing all this, the guy accompanying Inukami and Kazuki interferes with Yusato's training and grabs Rose by her collar. He questions if she's attempting to break a young man's spirit. In response to this, Rose addresses him as Siglis and instructs him to release her. She further asserts that she has her own training methods and that Yusato will ultimately become her right-hand man. This shocks both Siglis and Yusato. Rose further asserts that she loves the fact that Yusato is persistent and that he hates losing. "I wouldn't want to become her right-hand man. That's plain suicide." Hearing their conversation, Yusato realizes that Siglis is actually doing more harm than good to his cause. After this, Siglis instructs Inukami and Kazuki to look after Celia as he wants to have a conversation with Rose. With this, Yusato leaves with Inukami and Kazuki as they settle down under a tree where they inform Yusato that Siglis is actually the commander of Linger Kingdom's army. They also inform him that the girl accompanying them is the princess of this kingdom, and upon hearing this, Yusato apologizes for his ignorance and bows before her. Celia tells him that it's all right and brings out some cookies to share with everyone. As they are savoring the cookies, Kazuki comments on how harsh Yusato's training is, but Yusato disagrees, urging that he had it easy today. He then questions them regarding their training as Kazuki informs him that Siglis teaches them sword fighting and Welsi teaches them magic, further asserting that both of them are insanely caring and excellent teachers. As they are conversing, Inukami can't hold her back and forces Yusato to show his muscles. She even lifts his shirt to see his abs, but Yusato somehow manages to calm her down. There is something seriously wrong with this girl. She was a weeb, and now she's a pervert too. How was she suppressing all these before? Seeing all this, Kazuki questions if Yusato is having a hard time here, to which he replies positively. Despite all this, Yusato tells him that he's no longer scared of Rose. Instead, he's enjoying all this. This impresses Inukami as she's glad that Yusato has managed to find a place where he belongs. Yusato is also pleased that he's doing something to help them since they'll be fighting as heroes. Hearing this, Inukami urges Yusato to save him when she's in a pinch. Yusato then reminds him that it's far too late to be acting like a normal girl, and even Celia agrees with him. I agree with them too. She's Defoe, not normal. In the meantime, Tony brings Yusato his lunch, which pisses him off, and this leads to yet another brawl between them. Kazuki wonders if he should interfere, but Celia stops him. Seeing all this, Kazuki and the others leave for the castle to continue their training as well. Later that night, as Yusato is taking a bath, he notices that his muscles have matured a lot owing to Rose's harsh training. I was hoping to see Rose join him in the bath. The following morning, Rose informs Yusato that they'll be heading out today. On their way to the gate, they come across some soldiers who seem insanely scared of Rose, who impresses Yusato. After leaving the town, they reach a forest known as the Darkness of Linger, which is teeming with monsters. Rose then tells Yusato that he's not allowed to return until he defeats a Grand Grizzly, and this shocks him. Since Yusato has read the entire manual on monsters, he knows how frightening these monsters are. He protests that he can't possibly take on a Grand Grizzly, but Rose insists that he's more than capable now to defeat one, and with this, she hurls him into the forest. See fellas, that's how you train your underlings. You just yeet them into a forest full of monsters. It seems like Yusato's real life is now beginning. I wonder what sort of creatures he will come across, and would he be able to defeat a Grand Grizzly? Make sure to like and subscribe, so you don't miss out on anything.